Hi everybody, I'm Dee.
And I'm Jay, and we are Para DJ. We are back finally to do a Riverside Debussy wrap-up.
Definitely need to do that.
That's true. It took us a little bit of time to get all of our thoughts together. We wanted to make sure that we were still kind of together, to be able to get the words out properly. We're obviously still on the road, so forgive the semi-crude setup here in a hotel room.
It's the best we have right now.
That's it. So I've got some categories and some notes down here, so I'm going to be making sure that we stay on track, but then we'll just kind of wing it and say what comes to mind.
Sounds good.
All right. Up first, I have a quick rundown of the cabin types, so I'll pull some deck plans and put them up on the screen if I can. All of the cabins are located on deck 2 and 3. There's 4 decks in total. The entry-level category is called the Melody Suite, and there are 8 of those down on deck 2. It's 17 square meters. The Symphony Suite is on deck 3. There are 8 of those. That's one step up at 18 square meters. You've got the Seahorse Suite, which is on deck 2. There are 21 of those by my count. They're about 22 square meters. The Riverside Suites are 23, just a little bit bigger. There's 14 to 16 of those. I think that's what we were either in a Seahorse or a Riverside if you saw our series.
Yeah, I'd have to go look.
The Debussy Suite, there are 2 of those according to the deck map, and those are 47 square meters. And then they have the Owner Suite, which is an interesting concept because what they do when you have an Owner Suite is they do 2 connecting cabins.
Right.
So you basically have, I think it's a Debussy Suite combined with a Riverside Suite, and it gives you 70 square meters, and there's only 2 options to have that on the ship as well. Side note, those are the only cabins on the whole ship that can accommodate 4 people. Everything else,
it's 2 people.
2 only.
Yeah, and a fun fact about their rooms in general is that there are none that are below the water line. So even if you're in the lowest available category, it's still a really nice view, and you don't feel like you have to get on your tiptoes to look out the window, for instance. It's still really nice. Nice.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed our cabin overall.
It was gorgeous.
Think of any other words about cabins before we move on to the next category.
No, just that, like Jay said, they're not really designed for families other than that one particular kind. But if you do have like a baby with you, they can add a crib to your room. I did ask that. So
nice.
They could accommodate a third small person.
Okay, and they've got some other connecting cabin options. The Owner Suite thing is not the only way to get connecting cabins. Like I think you can get some melodies or symphonies connecting and things like that. So next category I've got up is the package options. That's kind of a big one because the one thing I like about Riverside is you can kind of choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
You start from like a base level and you build upon it. Their base level is called Full Board. That includes all of your non-specialty meals, cakes, waffles, ice cream, I'm getting this off the website, water, coffee, and tea, Wi-Fi, room service, and all of your port and service charges.
Yeah.
One step up from that is their premium all-inclusive, which includes everything I just said, as well as a bistro dinner, which normally costs 40 euros a person.
Exactly.
That's the little
That's what we did. It's the tapas dinner that we did on like night 2 or 3. Yeah.
Okay. You also get premium wine, cocktails, and spirits, and French champagne, and a mini bar.
And it's not just drinks with meals like it is on a lot of other cruise lines. If you get that package, it's whenever the bar is open. So you can get like a mimosa with breakfast. You can go to the bar right after that if it's open and get like a Bloody Mary or something. So it's not just your wines and beers. It's all cocktails. So that's kind of different and unique.
Nice. And then each of those packages has an option to add the excursion package as well. So then you can do full board, including excursions, which gets you 1 excursion per port.
Right.
And then there's the premium all-inclusive, including excursions. Wow, that's hard to say. Same thing. It's premium all-inclusive, and you added excursions. So basically 2 levels, and then it's either with or without excursions, giving you 4 choices.
Yeah. That sounds good. Yeah, and it also includes your transfers as well. Like if you come in the day before, within a certain mileage radius, they will get you to and from the ship, like back to the airport, whatever you need to do. And you said service charges, but that's your gratuities in case you're used to that word. It includes your gratuities.
Yeah, I was just taking them straight off the website, but that is true.
So, it includes quite a bit.
All right. Next up, I have Embarkation. So this is just very casual. How was your embarkation process?
Oh, it was great. So basically, they took our luggage off of the bus. That was part of the transfer that we had. You went in, they said, eat some food. Then when you're ready, go downstairs to the reception area and get checked in. We went downstairs, gave them our name, our passports, because you do need the passports because you're in Europe. True. And you wouldn't be able to get here otherwise. And then our butler met us and showed us our room and told us about how it worked. And then as we were unpacking our room steward came in and explained how all of that worked. And then later in the day, we had our muster drill, which was the safety drill, and the captain came out. And we drank champagne and learned about safety rules. So very stress-free, very nice, no life jackets required. It's a very luxury feeling thing, but still very casual.
Yes, that's the word that I had in mind. Casual.
Yeah.
Anytime you have a safety drill with included, champagnes and things, make sure you pay attention, though.
Absolutely.
It's important.
Yeah.
Next up, let's go food and drinks. I didn't even make any specific notes on this. So any types of food and drink points that you're thinking of?
Oh my goodness, where do I start?
I know. The food was great overall, I gotta say.
Yeah, it's plentiful. So there is a buffet, but it's for breakfast and lunch only. But it's not like, the giant buffets you're used to. There's small stations, and they have like little daily specials in there as well that you can order. And then at dinner, it's a seated dining, but it is come when you're ready. It's not you have to show up at a specific time and everybody eats together. So it's between, I think it was 7 and 10,
I'm gonna say.
10 p.m. So it is kind of late, but we're in Europe, they eat a little bit later. But you could come in any of those times and have your meal in the dining room, and lots of tables for two. Some people are not into socializing, meeting other people. That's a big selling point for Riverside is you don't have to. You can sit by yourself, or you can make friends and switch around every single night. It's up to you.
That's true. You can choose your level of reclusivity, if that's a thing.
Yeah, but the food in general is amazing, and they do some really fun things with it. They had the barbecue once they opened the deck on the top. That was probably my favorite. They did it for lunch and then a special one for dinner. They did a gala dinner the last night that was just amazing. All of the food was good, and we didn't really know what to expect from one day to the next. They use a lot of local. They go out and shop in the ports, and it's an ever-evolving menu. So it may not be the same on your cruise as you saw on ours.
That's true.
It depends on the chef.
Ours was Germany-focused, and so we got a lot of Germany area specialties.
And if you're more of a picky eater, they do have like an everyday menu. For most of the meals, probably not the gala meal, I would say, which, you can have your more simple kind of chicken steak,
steaks,
things like that. So, but I implore you to try it because it's amazing.
And there are a couple of what I would consider specialty dining things. We talked about the bistro, which was the 40 euros per person, which was kind of the tapas meal where you're out in the casual area.
The vintage room.
Vintage room, yeah.
Yeah, that is basically like a chef's table that includes all of the fancy wine and champagne. And it's about a 3-hour meal. So you do have to carve some time into your evening for it, but it was beautiful. It's about 200 euros per person. Not euros. Well, it depends where you are.
Oh, true. They normally do price the things in euros.
Yeah, euros. 200 euros per person. But it includes everything. And it's pretty fun.
Yeah, we even had poetry recitals during our Chef Gareth. Oh, my gosh.
But it's not a requirement. It's a small room. I think it holds 10 to 12 people. So, and they only do it so many times throughout the cruise.
Yeah, even if you don't get in on the specialty dining, you're going to have a good time eating that food.
So phenomenal.
The dining experience, it is an experience on there.
Yeah.
Like, most of our dinners were at least, I'm going to say about 2 hours. Like, typically at dinner, 1.5 to 2 hours.
Yeah, but we made friends and chatted, and it went really fast, and you're just enjoying it. So.
Yeah, true. I also had drinks on there, but we've kind of touched on what drinks are included and all of that. So I think we're good on that category.
Room service is included as well, and we only did it once, like midnight or 1 a.m. on the last night. But what we had was phenomenal, and everybody else who ate it said it was amazing. So yeah.
The main problem is it's hard to be hungry on there. They give you snacks at the nightly meal. They give you snacks with like a wine pairing. They're always bringing food.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So you're not gonna be hungry.
Oh, and then they had the bistro area.
That's what I meant, the little snacky picky pick thing. Yeah.
For lunch, you could do that too, and you could order coffees and bubble waffles and ice cream. So yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of dining options. Even though I think really for dinner, the only thing that's usually open is the dining room, right? Breakfast and lunch, you have
room
options.
Service, yeah.
Oh, that's true. Just sit in your room in your drawers and eat some food. Why not? Next category is entertainment. Now, this is kind of where it got exciting. We've done 2 river cruises. The first one was very traditional, piano entertainment and local entertainers every evening. But this one, they upped their game.
They did. So we had things I would call that are like on the more traditional cruise lines. You would be, used to seeing like bingo, Liars Club, karaoke. And then they brought on local entertainers as well. We had
Sharon.
She came in and sang to us several nights, and we had a local violinist come in, and that was really nice on our barbecue evening. It was just like a little mini concert, and people were stopping and watching on the streets. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And then we had our piano entertainer, Gary, for most of the cruise, and then it switched to another gentleman, and I don't remember his name. I'm sorry.
I know, we only had him for one night.
Yeah, so definitely lots of entertainment, and then they do nightly port talks about what you're going to do the next day, what you experienced, and that's like kind of the cocktail time, and yeah, it was just really nice.
Yeah, overall, it's struck me as more of what like the ocean lines are doing, which is what you were getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah, much more of like that. If you're used to ocean cruising, this kind of seems like a nice way to get into river cruising while still, it's not completely outside the box of what you're expecting, that kind of thing.
Because a lot of people are like, oh, you're on a river cruise, you're going to be bored. No. This is completely different. Yeah, I mean, I was never bored, honestly. But yeah, they definitely kept you entertained, and you could choose to go or not. So.
All right, next up I have got excursions, because if you choose the package, your excursions are going to be included. You can piecemeal your excursions, right, and a la carte them. You can pick and choose, you can have free and frugal days and sort of mix it up.
Yeah, and the prices, I think, are reasonable for the excursions that they offer. You'd have to check them out for your current sailing, but yeah, so one per port is offered. Some days you have 2 ports, so you get 2 excursions in one day, which is really cool. Most of them seem to be like a walking tour or a bus tour to take you somewhere to go walking. We've had some food tours in there, some drinking tours. But you do generally go walking.
A lot of walking, yeah.
Yeah. So, and they have bike riding as well.
Oh, true. Yeah, I was going to say accessibility is always a question that we get. And a lot of river cruising we're finding is not all that accessible. There are always stairs.
Yes.
To get on and off. Sometimes you have to go up to the top deck. Sometimes you have to cross another ship. So accessibility, I would put a big question mark on.
Yeah.
Not to jump in on the bike tours, but yeah, a lot of it is very active.
Yeah. So, like I said, there's bikes as well that they do bike tours, or you could just borrow if they were available. We had some really cool tours, though. We did like going up on the gondola thing in
that was
Riverside, and then we went and had like fun coffee. We did drinking wine on a bridge, and then we went off and did like the Pinocchio house and a Christmas market type thing. And I don't know, there was a good variety. I feel it's not all just walking tours and looking at things that are historic if you don't want to.
True. Yeah, I mean, there were like some things that involve castles, and of course the different rivers you're going to have different opportunities.
Exactly.
But it's very cultural. Like you get into these towns and you're interacting, and the guides are usually great.
They're local guides.
True.
And one great thing about river cruises, I think in general, is that they use the quiet box.
That's exactly where I was going.
Which is this little great gadget that you have that you put in your ear, and your guide uses a microphone, and you can hear everything they're saying, and you're not disturbing every single person around you. And it's great. So you get all the information you need while still kind of like being cool.
Being cool, and the camera can't hear it.
That's
in
the only
cases,
thing for
so
videoing.
I was having to like relate the information across, but it is great for the end user to have that in your ear.
Absolutely.
And if you don't like their little earpieces, you can bring another plug-in type earpiece and stick it in.
Somebody else did.
They didn't have any wireless option yet.
Not
but
yet.
It was a corded connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring your own little transmitter. Anyway, where am I at? Debarkation I put in there as a category. Any specific notes? I think I was just going to point out the whole thing about transfers mostly.
I mean, they just made it easy. They gave you a note when you needed to have your luggage out of your room at a certain time. They're like, go eat breakfast. And then they would let you know your luggage was already being loaded on whatever transfer worked for your schedule, which ours was like a sort of a private vehicle with one other couple to get us to the airport or a hotel. No, it was seamless. It was perfect. And then they haul everything off. You don't have to touch it.
That's true. And the one good thing I like also is that the suitcases don't have to go out in the hall until the morning that you leave.
Right.
So there's no danger that you've forgotten to pack your clothes for the next day, or you've accidentally packed your medicine. You've got your suitcases until that morning. You usually put them out maybe, I'll say within a half an hour of your departure time. So that's kind of convenient to keep your suitcases.
Nice.
No naked people on the transfer.
Oh, yeah, true.
Okay. That's probably about all the debarkation notes. I put in a miscellaneous category, and my notes were just to kind of talk about the dress code and the vibe and things like that. So,
yeah,
I didn't feel like I had to be super fancy. The funny thing about Riverside is like it felt luxury, but it did not feel stuffy.
That's what I told them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what I told them. And that's important to a lot of people because there's a lot of newer cruisers that want to try river cruises and think that you have to be very, very fancy. And you don't. You can be, but it's not required.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't feel like I needed a tie, a coat,
No.
I mean, any of these kinds of things. And just the overall vibe, it's just very relaxed. I don't know, something about just floating along, calm waters, watching the world go by.
The crew gets to know you and they feel like family and they're not trying to sell you something. It's a very different feeling. I don't know. It's hanging out with friends that know your every need and want before you even anticipate it. It's crazy.
This is true. Any other miscellaneous points before I jump into the couple of last segments? Just anything else about the cruising? Because I'm getting ready to get into cost type things and inclusions. And
I'll talk about that too. Yeah, no, that's good.
All right, let's jump into a cost comparison. So I went on Riverside's website and I pulled up a Melody Suite, which is the base level suite down on deck 2. 7-night itinerary, same time of year that we went, which was late July, pushing early August. A similar itinerary. I could not find the same one.
Oh.
But I found it in reverse. But anyway, I just pulled up a Mine and Rhine itinerary. So the full board package, and this is per person, I quoted it in US dollars, was $3,479 per person for the full board. To do the premium all-inclusive was $4,046 per person. Full board plus excursions is $4,235 per person, and then the premium plus excursions was $4,802 per person.
Sounds about right.
But the fun thing, I guess we'll put, this is going to become dated, but in 2025, what do we know about single supplements?
They are not charging single supplements for all of 2025 and maybe beyond, we don't know. So if you want to go by yourself and you hear one of those prices, you don't have to pay extra port fees and taxes or anything like that. That would be your price as a solo cruiser on a river cruise, which is amazing.
Yeah, you don't really see that often that I am aware of. So that's kind of cool. That's one reason to get in on Riverside by 2025. That's really all I had for cost comparisons.
Let's see, what did I want to talk about there? I just know that, well, it's not really cost, but I know that they still had availability for Christmas market cruises.
Okay.
Because it's a relatively new cruise line for the river cruising market. They only have 3 ships, so they're trying to fill them. So if you're interested in Christmas markets for 24, there's still availability, which is cool.
That's right, because they got up some of the old crystal ships, the crystal river ships.
They're beautiful.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So. My next category was basically just anything we haven't talked about of what's included and what's not included, and I just wanted to point out bistro dinner being a cost if you don't have the right package, and then vintage room is always a cost. Other than that, any other things of inclusions and non-inclusions? I think we kind of covered that as we talked along, didn't we?
Yeah. I'm looking through my notes here.
Yeah.
See.
Well, that was a very short section. Okay.
Just that everybody in the same room has to buy the same package, just like you would on a traditional cruise ship. So we had that question before. So yeah, whatever package you choose, everybody has to have it.
There you go. Good point.
Let's see.
Let's fill time while you flip through the book of notes where you went to your seminars and things.
I did.
Hey y'all, we need some jokes while you're flipping through your notes here.
Let's see.
Because we only have one other section, which is the most important question that people always ask us. I know people have said, will we do comparison videos between the 2 cruise lines that we've done? Not really. I like dropping these kinds of videos and just letting you make your own inferences. Is that the right word?
You can book your excursions 90 days in advance of the cruise, so that might be important. They're very good with allergies. These are just last minute things.
This
but
is
we did witness that.
Miscellaneous category. But I'm not making it a chapter for it in the video.
If you cruise with them again after you've already cruised once, you get a 5% loyalty discount of some sort. It is a family cruise line, so kids are welcome. However, they're not really... There's no kids programs. They have bicycles, they have a swimming pool, they have ice cream and bubble waffles. But there's not much else to entertain your children. So just keep that in mind. If your kids are foodies and really into history, they're going to love it. It's great. Sure. There's karaoke at night. It's really fun. But just be warned, nothing to entertain them. You will be entertaining them.
Yeah, they better love going on tours and walking around cities, because that's what they're going to be doing.
Exactly.
Wear good shoes, children. Don't let your feet wear out.
Yeah, I think that pretty much covers all that. And if you have any other questions, you can certainly reach out to us.
All right, let's jump to the last question, which is, would we do another Riverside cruise?
Yes.
Of course.
I already, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't have any reasons or anything that I disliked about this cruise. This was kind of an eye-opening experience, and it's gotten me more energized and ready to do more river cruises. Now, we're going to wait a few years before we do some, because we're trying to, we can only go to Europe every so often because those daggone travel expenses. You know how it is. But absolutely, that's my answer.
It was amazing. It was such a good experience. Like we said, it felt very luxury, but also comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Would do again.
Nice way to put a point on it. So you have made it officially to the end of the video.
Thank you.
If for some reason you found this one and you haven't seen the vlog series, we do have an entire series where we sailed Riverside Debussy, which you probably have seen at this point. If you do not currently work with a travel agent, I happen to know one right here. And you can go to parodj.com/travel and put in a quote request. She will be glad to pull together some numbers.
I'm here to help.
Especially during that waived single solo supplement time.
Anyway, yeah, let us know.
That's it. We're not sponsored by Riverside, but we're sponsored by Delightful Destinations. That's how that works.
Nice.
Thanks for hanging out and listening to a chatty video.
Hope you got some good information out of it. Yeah.
And you'll sail some river cruises. No matter what line, get out there and do some river cruising.
Definitely.
If you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Become a Paromaniac today. Socialize all our media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yep. And until next time, rock on.